please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
मुजफ्फरपुर में ऐसी घटना घट गई कि हम लोग सर्वसार सीबीआई की इंक्वायरी हाई कोर्ट उसको मॉनिटर करे, उसकी मॉनिटरिंग उसकी जांच होनी चाहिए ताकि कोई इसमें दोषी है वो बचे नहीं।
मुख्यमंत्री के नाक के नीचे ये सब कुछ हो रहा था और मुख्यमंत्री आंखों पे पट्टी बांध करके ये सारी चीजों को देखने का काम कर रहे थे।
कहीं न कहीं बिहार की जनता और विपक्ष की वजह से ही पूरा देश इस घटना को जान पाया। सरकार इसको दबाने की पुरजोर कोशिश कर रही थी।
जब हमने पकड़ना शुरू कर दिया है तो नर्क तक पीछा करेंगे और नर्क तक खदेड़ेंगे। जितने मामले हैं सब सामने आएंगे।
We are ashamed. With these words, Bihar's Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has finally broken his silence on sexual abuse of more than 30 girls at a shelter home in Muzaffarpur. Girls as young as 7 years old have been allegedly raped at a shelter meant to provide vocational training to destitute women. Brijesh Thakur, the man who ran the shelter and the prime accused in the case, has now been arrested. The CBI is probing the incident. The Chief Minister has promised that the guilty will face severe punishment. Opposition parties are demanding Nitish Kumar's resignation over this incident. In fact, Rahul Gandhi and Tejasvi Yadav will join forces tomorrow at Jantar Mantar and will lead a protest march against the state government. To discuss the fallout and the implications of this absolutely horrific turn of events, joining us on the show, Sanjay Jha, spokesperson of the Congress Party, and Naval Kishore of the RJD. Gentlemen, appreciate you joining us here on the show. I would hope, Naval Kishore, let me start by asking you, since the RJD is raising this issue not just in Bihar, but your party chief has said that they will raise this outside of the state as well, and you're doing that candle march in Delhi. I hope that this will not be about scoring political brownie points. I hope that the effort will be on trying to find a way to help these girls who are victims of an horrific crime and to put in place checks and balances which will ensure that this kind of monstrosity doesn't recur.
Yeah, very true. See, it is not a political question. It is a moral question at first. We cannot in silence as Nitish Kumar, because this issue is not the issue of a simple rape case. It is a rape case of the young children of more than 300 people. So, if you remember that one Nivea created such a rape in the country, and there are 34. Therefore, we have come out of Bihar, and we are pretty therefore doing this. Which forced him to agree for CBI.
Okay, Mr. Kishore, we've got you on a bad line. We've got you on a bad line. Let me try and reconnect with you, but let me go across to Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, the same question to you. Your party president now saying that he will join hands with Tejasvi Yadav and participate in that candle march. I'm happy to note that politicians are coming together to raise their voices against what is a horrific turn of events in Bihar, but I hope that the politics will stay out of it.
Yeah, Shirin, you have our complete assurance on that. As you rightly said, this is a horrific, I don't know which word to say, but think about how barbaric and, brutal this has been for those very vulnerable young girls who went to a government-run shelter because they don't have a home. And for them to have been treated in this manner, so ghastly, one is left speechless. I think what is disappointing, Shirin, in this particular case is the fact that if the Supreme Court hadn't taken a suo motu notice, what was disturbing was the complacency, the disinterestedness, and the overall casual attitude being demonstrated both by the JDU and the BJP, which are running Bihar and are in the center. And I think, end of day, when you look at, Kathua, you look at Unnao, there have been so many incidents of abuse of women in this country over the last couple of years is very, very disconcerting. Now, here you find girls as young as 7. And, I believe those who have read the testimony will tell you it's so depressing because there are girls who are saying that,
yes,
you know, we are scared of the night, we are scared of the dark, because, you know, they were repeatedly assaulted. Yeah. So, you know, I assure you there'll be no politics. What we need to do is to raise and escalate the issue, because everyone should be aware of what are the dangers we live in. And most embarrassingly, the failure of the political system has been so irresponsible, and honestly deserves to be condemned in the strongest possible terms.
Let me go across to Sunil Singh, spokesperson of the Janata Dal. Mr. Singh, thanks very much for joining us. You know, is this the best that your Chief Minister could come up with? He says today, Muzaffarpur mein aisi ghatna ghati hai ki hum sharmsar ho gaye hain. The Chief Minister finally breaks his silence, and this is all that he has to say on one of the most horrific incidents that we've seen in India. This after the Supreme Court takes suo motu cognizance of the matter?
Shireen, it's not the Supreme Court cognizance taking, but look, let me tell you one thing very frankly, that this government, our government has nothing to hide, because it was us, it was Bihar government only who had instituted a third-party evaluation by Tata Institute of Social Sciences to know about our social welfare schemes. We had nothing to hide. At that point of time, we could have hired the state agencies also, but we would not do so. We hired the top-notch agency. And on the filing of the report, and we filed an FIR, and after FIR, and within 72 hours, all the accused except one was arrested, and the police administration was on the job. I've got a very serious senior SP of Muzaffarpur, is a lady, Harpreet Kaur, was on the job, but when opposition said that they wanted the CBI inquiry, we gave it to CBI also. And we are moving to the High Court for the High Court monitored probe, because we have got nothing to hide, and that Honorable CM himself said that the whole Bihar is ashamed of it. We are all ashamed. This is not a matter of party politics. This is a very much, because this is inhuman, horrifying accident that happened in Muzaffarpur, and the criminal must be brought to book. And about this thing, and there is nothing to hide from us, and we are on job. Nitish Kumar is very sensitive towards women issues and every issue, and this kind of thing he himself said that we are the whole Bihar is ashamed of it, and he is really.
But who is going to be accountable, sir? Mr. Singh, who will be made accountable, sir? You're talking about the fact that the Bihar government has nothing to hide. I'm taking a look at our sister channel News 18 India. Documents available with News 18 India show almost 8 months ago the chairman of the State Commission for Protection of Child Rights had visited the Muzaffarpur shelter home and had submitted the report to the state government. The report mentions that while meeting with the children, they had started crying. They had complained about the incidents that were taking place. Who will be held accountable for what has gone on?
About the child rights report.
The state machinery has completely failed.
Shireen, let me remind you that about the child rights report in November 2017, it has suggested that a third-party evaluation by any state agency could have been there. But it was we who went ahead. We did not want a state agency because that agency can be influenced by anybody. So we opted for a Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Bombay. And it was on child rights. We did not have the inkling. Let us accept the fact that we cannot shirk away from the responsibility. Yes, we are ashamed of it, but then we are on job, and let me tell you that whosoever is guilty, pita, putra, pati, kisi ka bhi ho, ye maine nahi rakhta. Honorable Nitish Kumar is very committed to these kind of offence, and that person will be brought to book. We cannot have a media trial. When an allegation is there have to be an iota.
No, I'm not. I have absolutely no desire to play judge or jury here, so I'm only asking you questions. And my question is that if 8 months ago, as News 18 India reveals that documents were presented, a report was presented about what was going on in Muzaffarpur, then why is it that the state government, the state machinery did not act?
Well, that's what I'm saying. On the report of the child right panel, upon the recommendation was to hire a third-party evaluation. It was not very specific enough as to the kind of the thing that was going on. It suggested a third-party evaluation by any state agency. It was we who went ahead a step further. We opted for Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and the moment report was filed, we had some queries with these people. After the query, I think we decided to file an FIR.
All right, I'll give final comments to Naval Kishore and Sanjay Jha, and I'll get you to respond to them. Naval Kishore, you heard what the JDU spokesperson had to say, that they have brought in a third-party evaluator in the form of Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and hence this matter has come to light. The government saying that heads will roll and that people who have been guilty will be brought to book.
See, he has been saying this since long, but he is not able to explain the fact that people of Bihar are asking, and we are asking. We are asking to explain the proximity of Brajesh Thakur with Nitish Kumar, how he was able to get a state fund year after year, how he was able to get advertisement for a newspaper, at least 1 crore per annum. What was his relation? What was the relation with Nitish Kumar, and why he has been trying to sell the people who is main accused? Number one. Number two, why if the name of minister husband comes, why he is not able to sack the minister? In place of sacking the minister, minister is trying to explain in terms of caste politics and making fun of the incident, which is so horrific. And it is not only Muzaffarpur. You will find there are 14 more shelter homes with similar kind of incident. And in order to escape responsibility, he has been keeping silence. And now when he's opening his mouth, he is doing not even the list. He should have sacked the minister. He should have explained his relation with the Brajesh Thakur. That has not come. And that is what made us to force him to resign.
Respond to those specific charges. A, why has the minister not been made accountable? And B, how is it that Brajesh Thakur has managed to create this kind of an empire basis NGOs?
First of all, the Nawalji was casting aspersion on the relationship of Nitish Kumar with Brajesh Thakur. Can you explain the relationship between Raj Ballabh Yadav and Lalu Prasad Yadav? There is nothing to hide. You don't see Nitish Kumar. Are you not listening to it? Raj Ballabh Yadav. Let me answer Nawal Kishorji.
Which does not
have the face.
Nobody will be able to understand a word of what is being said. No one will be able to understand a word of what is being said. Mr. Kishore, you made your point. Let Mr. Singh respond.
Let me pipe down. There is absolutely no relationship. Honorable Nitish Kumar is known to be that there cannot be anything of these kind of people will be shielded. He has himself said today. That settles the matter, that he has said he has anybody being relative of anybody on whatever post, political party, or doesn't matter, guilty will be brought to book, but because this is one of the most heinous crimes in that society can have. And third thing which he has been asking about, that Brajesh Thakur's empire and whatever it is, whatever empire, etc. You're talking about minister being accountable. Let me tell you, if some allegation is coming, every aspect of this thing will be probed, and slightest iota of prima facie proof also, heads will roll. Heads will roll. Let us not be in a haste. In a democratic process, there is rule of law. The rule of law, heads will definitely roll. Heads will definitely roll. I assure you on this count.
Sanjay Jha, a quick final comment. Any answers that you want from Sunil Singh before we close?
No, Sherry, let me tell you, this is not just a shame of Bihar, this is a shame of India. As somebody who comes from Bihar, I can tell you there has been nothing more, I think, horrific to hear about young, sweet, simple young girls being brutalized in a government-run hospital. To me, that is an unpardonable, unforgivable sin. This is the government's job. The government is accountable. And, you know, I will say this again. I mean, these young girls are young enough to be grandchildren of Nitish Kumar and people like that. I mean, morality demands that Nitish Kumar should himself resign to make a statement today that in politics we still can stand up for certain principles, because nothing that we do from here on, Shirin, can actually obliterate the misery, the fear, and the damage that we have done to the psychology of these young girls. And I think in politics, if we are going to be so cold-blooded as to dismiss it with an, you know, we'll have an investigation and, you know, that's not the end of it all. I'm sorry.
That is the whole
unfortunately,
game
it isn't the end of it all, but... Yes, Sunil Singh, the final 30 seconds to you, sir.
Shireen, that is the whole game of the opposition. They are not interested in justice to the victim. They are interested that Nitish Kumar should resign, Tesu Yadav should become CM, and Billy ko hi hum de dein doodh ki rakhwali karne ke liye. It's deplorable. How can Tesu Yadav can become CM? Honorable CM, and Billy ko de dein दूध की रखवाली करो. We are not that much of a thing. We will not fall into the irresponsible trap laid by the RJD or opposition parties.
So you're saying...
I would like to respond.
Okay. So very clear. Yes, Mr. Kishore, 10 seconds, please.
Yeah, just 10 seconds. You just tell him that earlier about Nitish Kumar it was said, कोई ऐसा सगा नहीं जिसको उन्होंने ठगा नहीं. Now it is वो पूरे समाज को ठग रहे हैं, पूरे महिलाओं को ठग रहे हैं, पूरे बिहार को ठग रहे हैं. And he should resign on that count. His name will be written in black words for this conduct.
And he's not resigning. He's not going anywhere. Mr. Singh has made it absolutely clear. Mr. Singh has made it absolutely clear. Nitish Kumar is not going anywhere. He is not stepping down on account of this. I do hope, though, that the state will put its well, that's for the voters to decide. I hope that the state will put its machinery and its might behind ensuring that these girls get justice and that a similar horrific incident does not take place again. But Sunil Singh, Naval Kishore, Sanjay, I appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18. Time for a break, but when we return, the centre scraps the plan to set up hubs to monitor social media. Why? We discuss that when we return. Supreme Court observed that the government's notification to set up social media hubs in every Indian district would tantamount to moving towards a surveillance state. The centre has now taken a U-turn. The Attorney General K.K. Venugopal told the court today that the government has withdrawn its proposal to create a social media hub and hence the PIL challenging it should be quashed. Remember, a public interest litigation filed by Trinamool Congress legislator in her personal capacity, Mahua Moitra, had alleged that the proposal to set up social media hubs grossly violated the right to privacy and was an attempt to snoop on citizens. So why has the government backtracked? And what was the need to monitor social media chatter in the first place? To take that discussion forward, we are now joined by BJP's Vaibhav Agarwal and TMC MLA and the petitioner in this matter, Mahua Moitra and Sanjay Jha as well. Mahua, I want to come to you because, you stand vindicated today with the government deciding to do a U-turn and withdraw its RFP on setting up these social media hubs. While that's good news for you as a petitioner, but would you have wanted an explanation from the government as to why they decided to do this?
You know, when intent is malafide, if I know someone's a thief, I'm not really interested to know why he's stealing. The fact that he's stealing is enough. So in this case, I think as citizens of this country, we were very clear when we read the RFP that the intent was malafide. It was indefensible both in spirit and in law. So I'm not really interested in knowing why they got it down because we're going to hear all sorts of spin. I mean, the last time the BJP gentleman on the show tried to tell us that this was apparently an RFP is part of a public consultation. So we've heard all the garbage that can come out possibly out of the BJP. So frankly, I am only happy about one thing as a citizen of this country, that the Supreme Court gave it the importance that it was, came down very strongly on the first day itself. And I would thank the Attorney General for whatever it may be for explaining to the government that this was indefensible and that he was not prepared to stand up and defend it. And the fact that they had to, please let us understand, they have not backed down because they saw sense. They have backed down because they realized they would be at the receiving end of a very strong order from the Supreme Court. But I am happy today that this has happened. And for citizens of this country, I am happy that this is a victory. I'm not really interested to know why the government backed down. I'm just happy that this has happened. And that today, we till the next fight. Like I said, this government is perfectly capable of, again, in 10 days, trying something else through the back door. But till such time, I think we can be happy that we have got this relief. Thank you.
Vaibhav Agarwal, I want to come to you now because, you were on my program along with Mahua Moitra the day that the Supreme Court had made the observations and you vociferously defended the government's decision to move forward with this RFP. Today, when the government says we're withdrawing this RFP, it's doing a U-turn on its decision to move ahead with this proposal of creating these social media hubs, what do you have to say?
We at BJP never resort to gundagardi and gundaism just like the TMC does. And we are very humble in always in accepting what is the public's mandate.
This was a matter in court, sir. I don't know where gundagardi comes in.
It was very simple.
This was a matter in court.
Mahua Moitra just beat up a policeman in Assam. That is why, because she's referring to BJP's garbage.
I don't know.
So
I'm not talking about what Mahua Moitra did in Assam, sir. I'm asking a very specific question. I'm asking you a very specific question. I'm not talking about what Mahua Moitra did in Assam. I'm asking you about the BJP's decision to withdraw the RFP.
If you don't use, if you use parliamentary language, you'll get a reply in parliamentary language. If you don't use, I have a right to rebut and retort. So coming back to the topic, And it's not about vociferously defending the topic. It's not about vociferously defending the social media hub. Last time as well I said that it is in the process of consideration. We considered and we thought it was not right in the shape that it was the RFP in. So simple, we withdrew it right now. That doesn't mean that we may not explore the possibilities of coming up with something better, something more indigenous, something more intelligent, something more AI dependent, something more sensible, which will be more acceptable to people and to the honorable courts. I mean, where is the non-defense and the defense subject comes from? I have no idea. We are a government. We are very.
You accept the fact that this was not sensible. You accept the fact that the RFP was not sensible.
No, I never said that. I'm just saying that it could be anything. It could be anything, and we can bring up something better, something more indigenous, something more intelligent, perhaps. You know, that's just it. But as in state, the court did not accept it, and we would try and get it accepted next time.
Something more Machiavellian.
What's the problem in this? I mean, I don't see a reason why somebody should laugh.
So you're not. Okay, so you're not giving up on the plans just yet. Sanjay Jha, maybe not this version, maybe a different version altogether. That is what Vaibhav Agarwal says, that they're not giving up on the social media hub plan per se, but it might return in a different avatar.
Yeah, you know, Shirin, firstly, I think I would like to thank and congratulate Mahua Mitra, who's on the panel, a fellow colleague of mine from another political party, because she's not just been a petitioner in this case. I think she's fought for India's fundamental rights and a right to privacy. And I am very, very disturbed by what the BJP spokesperson has said. I mean, you know, why, Shirin, I would be, you know, finding it very disconcerting, his very open-ended statement that we will look into it again, is because his political party did go to the Supreme Court and argue that the right to privacy was not our fundamental right. And think about it, Shirin, that you have had the Supreme Court mention that we are headed for a 360-degree surveillance state. That is not my, I'm not speaking as a Congress spokesperson. These are the words of the Supreme Court, the highest judiciary in the country. And let's not forget, just a minute, let's not forget, and I want to point this out, Shirin, that and you're part of a very vibrant media, and I personally don't want to embarrass you by telling you that some of you are fighting a great, great battle out there. But the World Press Freedom Index, India has gone down. We all know what has been done to a very popular Hindi news channel recently. I think there are some very serious repercussions of the way the current government is setting up a climate of fear. And I think, you know, what is happening today, Shirin, I think to me that is more worrying than anything else, is people are imposing self-censorship. I know people who are saying, I will not tweet because I might get an FIR. Somebody says, I won't forward a WhatsApp because somebody will file a defamation suit. I think this whole autocratic, authoritarian mindset of this political party is now beginning to, you know, frankly overwhelm the entire country. And his words, therefore, concern me.
We're discussing issues.
You know, Shireen, may I get an opportunity
and we're keeping it to the facts. That's what. Yeah, I will come back to you, Vaibhav, in just a second. As I said, we discuss issues and we stick with the facts. Now, Vaibhav, I want to ask you very specifically, because you said we're not giving up on the plan for our social media hub. We'll probably put out a more intelligent version of a social media hub. Whether you mean intelligent in the form of AI or you mean intelligent in the form of less retrograde, because that is what a lot of people believe that your previous RFP was. What are you going to change? I go back again to what your previous plan was, that you wanted to monitor, you wanted to pick up on chatter, you wanted to have support publishing features, you wanted to, you know, be the eyes and ears of the government. I mean, these are things from the RFP. What is it that you would like to change? Because as the Supreme Court observed on the 13th of July, it said that we seem to be moving towards a surveillance state. And today, you have now withdrawn that plan. So what is it that you would like to change?
Shireen, see, the idea is perhaps we may not even want to get into it as government, but we can request companies like organizations like Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, and and any other social media driven organization to help the government from their side in terms of putting up firewalls, checks and balances in place, etc., etc. Just like we are setting an example to work with WhatsApp and getting those checks and balances in place. You see, monitoring social media does not mean I want to have a surveillance state. You know, monitoring social media, it is on the appearance side for the optics. It may have sounded that, and that is why the AG must have withdrawn it. Now, I don't know the merits of that part of it because I was not present in the court. But as far as I can understand, and I have read about it since the afternoon, I understand that monitoring social media to an extent to stop rumors and fake news and all that is in what shape and size is still we are still thinking about it. All of us, me, you, Sanjay, everyone is game about it. But we need to understand what is the extent to which we want to do this. So that is where the context is. That how to go forward. Perhaps a public consultation is the best way forward.
Okay, Mahua, final say on the panel. Not giving up on the plan, what shape or form it takes is something that Vaibhav says perhaps there will now be public consultation over.
See, Shireen, I don't have one request. After last time when he appeared on the show, I was hoping you'd get someone a little better informed. It's actually quite nice to have him back and see that he hasn't moved much along the sort of level of intelligence as far as
at least I don't beat cops and call myself a legislator and upholding the Indian Constitution.
Please let me finish, sir. I waited for you. I waited for you. I don't call myself a legislator. I happen to be elected one. Please check the records. There's a difference
get on to the topic. Don't get personal.
And elected legislators, sir. I'd ask you to check that. But anyway,
doesn't matter.
Let's leave that out of it right now.
You have no right to be elected because you beat up the very people who take care of the Constitution.
Information and broadcasting. Information and broadcasting. The right to information and broadcasting. The Information and Broadcasting Ministry has absolutely no jurisdiction of snooping into people, and I think that this is the problem. The issue here is that we're dealing with a spokesperson who has no clue on the issue, and let's get someone informed, Shireen, because number one, Information and Broadcasting has no jurisdiction over surveillance. The first thing.
Shireen, that's
the second thing, when he talks about getting Google and Twitter and Facebook,
she's constantly doing personal
that
remarks.
law enforcement
I don't think that this is intellectual at all. This is uncouth behavior of a member of Legislative Assembly. This is Gundagardi of TMC. She should apologize.
Please let me finish. Please let me finish.
You know, she has no right to do that. I'm an authority on the digital subject. Mahua Mitra has no clue about it. She's uncouth. She's non-digitally informed. And she's illiterate about digital literacy. And I'm saying this on record.
The government can come back.
No, one second.
The government can come back on this. Please let me finish, Shireen. If you're going to have an interruption, I cannot finish. I didn't say interruption.
I will let you finish.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I'll ask him to stop. Then you can make your point
for 10 seconds. It is up to the it is up to the BJP. It is the BJP's prerogative to suggest which spokesperson should appear on their programs. And I don't think that we need to go down that line. Please make your argument on the specific issue of why the government has chosen to withdraw it and what you would now be concerned about. And we're running out of time, so very quickly, please.
I only brought it up. I completely agree. I completely agree with you. It is up to them to send whoever they feel. I'm happy actually that he's here because it's actually far easier. The second thing is that this is a Machiavellian plan. The centre did not have any good intent to do this. And when we have a spokesperson who come across... Or please let me finish, Shireen. This is not on. Shireen, this is not on. You have to let me finish. I did not interrupt the gentleman, Shireen. I did not interrupt the gentleman. All right?
Go ahead.
So this is Machiavellian.
Go ahead.
The state,
Go ahead.
They will come back with something else. They have lost today. They will come back. They have absolutely no basis in law or in spirit to do this. It is just a question of time before they come back with some other Machiavellian backdoor way to try and do this again. And believe me, we're not giving up. The citizens of this country are not giving up. We have won today, and let them try it again. We are here to fight them again. All right? That's it.
All right, we will have to end. We will have to end there. We're completely out of time. Sanjay Jha, apologies. We've completely run out of time. Mawa Moitra, Vaibhav Agarwal, and Sanjay, appreciate you joining us. The BJP saying that it will not give up on its plans. It may put together a better and improved version of a social media hub plan that today it has withdrawn. On that note, we'll take a break, but don't go anywhere. The big debate on the mystery of the UIDI number that now finds itself on your phone. That when we get back.